Um, Slideshow. Coming back to the Zoom. Awesome. Cool. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I think this is the first town hall that we are having after Level Up. So we'll be sharing with you all the amazing releases we had during Level Up and another bunch of releases that we have planned for the current quarter. Cool. So starting on, we'll be covering the following modules in this town hall: contacts, opportunities, custom objects, tasks, and companies. So feel free to pause us. We want the conversations to be engaging throughout. So just pause us. If you have any questions, raise your hand, put in the chat box. Our team is with us, and wherever possible, they'll chime in the chat directly, or we'll be pausing to take your questions. Cool. So starting on with the recent releases that we just made. The first one, and I'm sure the biggest one that you guys would have been most excited about, the custom objects. So we recently launched custom objects. This is currently available only on the 497 plan for all of you. What does custom object mean? Basically, custom objects allows you to create any object apart from the standard objects that we provide you, like contacts, opportunities, and companies. If I was to talk about a use case for custom objects, it would most likely go, let's say there was a real estate agent and they were able to store the different information about the different clients that they were servicing and the different opportunities, or basically the different houses they were putting up on show through opportunities so basically what would their, just give me a sec, what would their location most likely look like? It would have all the contacts whom they're showing up the different properties that they are available to show. And then there'll be another list of the opportunities, which will have a combination of the house and the contact together. I'm not sure what happened here, but yeah. And they'll have most likely a combination of the house and the property that they were putting up on show, but they would not have a place where they can put up all the different properties that they're putting up, in a separate place. And they might want a place where they can put up all the different properties, maybe the square footage, the value of each of these properties, and link that particular property with the different people who are potential buyers or sellers or have any relation whatsoever with the contact. So maybe let me try here. So what they would do most likely is they'll go to settings, and I'll give you a quick demo of how objects work right now. And when you go here in objects, you'll find this button called add custom object. You can start creating an object over here. Let's go with the example that we were just talking about, which was property. And you will create a new object called property, properties, and you will most likely have a primary field, for example, the address of this particular property, right? So you'll put that as the primary field. And now a primary field is a mandatory field that you have to have with that object. So that's how it becomes crucial. You can have a separate icon to signify this particular object. Let's put a house here, and you can describe that object so that someone else who's coming to your sub account, maybe your associates, etc., would be able to identify and understand what that object is all about. So this one displays all the different houses in my location. So that's how you start creating a custom object. What next? The next thing you would want to do is put in custom fields for this particular object, right? So you can start adding custom fields to it. For example, let's say the example that we're talking about, let's say the square footage of this particular house. So you will add a new custom field, and you can literally add all the different available custom field types here directly as custom fields to this particular object. You can start putting any custom fields that you want and save all of that information. Now the third step is starting to create records under this new custom object that you just created called properties. Just allow this to refresh. Yes, I understood what happened.
For those of you wondering, the notifications are coming soon. Big improvements to notifications.
The notifications for?
The banner at the top,
Ah.
all that stuff is getting completely revamped. So,
Yep, yep.
yep.
Cool. So now you can start adding a property over here. Let's say 123 Brook Street. And add that as records in your custom object. Right? And you can even have an owner, a follower for this particular object. You can add the different custom values, custom fields that you added. Not just this, we also started off with giving you advanced filters. So you will have a bunch of advanced filters on all your primary and secondary, a primary property and the custom fields plus owner, follower, etc. And created and updated at. You have all of these on day one. You have different sort options for created at and updated at. You can change the fields that are visible on your list view, all of these. Plus, you also have a search bar where you can decide what are the different fields that you want to search on, but we'll touch upon that in a while. You have done all of this. The next step is you want to associate this particular house to a contact in your sub account. And for that, you have something called associations, which is another major change that we brought in. So now you can do something. You can create an association between properties and contacts. You can give it whatever name you want. Maybe, something like a potential buyer and seller or house. And you can create whatever labels you want. You can put contractors, you can put sellers, you can put whatever labels suit your business use case over here. Save that. And the new association label just got created. We support many to many associations right now, but we do plan to start supporting more association types like one to one and one to many, most likely in the current quarter itself. So I've done this. Now I go back to properties. I can click on this house and I can start associating it with any contact. So I can just click on associate new contact. I can select the contact I want to associate this particular house to. I can put labels. Since I have just one label right now, I'm seeing this. If I had multiple, I would have seen all the potential labels here and I could have added any. And I click on save. So now this house is associated to this particular contact and you can see that this contact is a potential buyer for this house. Not just this, you can also add this as a field, as a fifth column in the list view itself to see who are the potential buyers for this house in a quick glimpse. You can click on this and go to the contact directly. Also on the contact, here we have added a new uh, place for associations. So you can click on this and you can see all the different houses or properties that this particular contact is interested in. So this is association and it makes life a lot easier for you because you have all of the different information segregated and put in one place itself. Cool. So this is what you have released so far. Any questions, any feedback, anyone wants to share something? And then I can move to the other objects. Cool, let me proceed then. I'm hoping all of you would have tried out custom objects. We are really looking forward to as much feedback as we can for custom objects. So we covered all of this. The next big piece is associated contacts. This was one of the most requested features that we had. Yep, Joel, I think we have a question. Go ahead.
Here's and maybe you covered this on custom objects. Is there an option to create something that says, hey, this is how it has to be unique?
Not yet. This is another thing that we have planned for the current quarter or most likely the next quarter. We are not sure and we will roll this out, but this will be coming very soon where you will have options to put custom fields or like certain custom fields as unique in custom objects.
Okay.
Yep, Tina.
So I'm struggling to understand the reason behind it. And it may just be because I'm in like the cleaning industry. So I'm not seeing a use case for it, but for like selling cars or real estate, I can see you can have like multiple people interested in like a particular car or a house. But for house cleaning, I'm thinking I don't know why I would use the custom objects or the objects area.
Yep. I mean, okay. Is this like a service industry where you have like the different people coming in with requests for cleaning and you'll be managing all of that?
Sorry, is that a question?
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand your industry a little better.
Oh, yeah,
Or
so, it's house
okay,
cleaning, so residential cleaning.
got it. Cool. So basically, there's another kind of use case that we have seen very commonly in custom objects, which is sort of like having a third layer, like jobs. For example, you might have one contact who might be requesting multiple services from you, and you can store that in uh, opportunities, or you can, and if you want to put in maybe the different services that you offer, let's say you offer multiple segregations of house cleaning that you have on offer, you might want to store information about these are my 5 tier, this is like for a 1 BHK, this for a 2 BHK, this for a villa, something like that. You can put all of that information on a
Be
new
your,
custom.
it could also be your service record, the houses that you have serviced, when did you service, any details about that service, right? All of those records you can probably store in a custom object. And then when you go to a contact, you'll be able to see a history of all the service records, that all the services that you have provided to that customer. When did you provide it? What all happened during that service, right? All of that can be stored in a custom object. But I would, if you can book a call with us, get on a call with us, we'll be able to help you out better with that.
I'll do that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Valley, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah. So, this is great. I mean, the custom objects thing is huge for me and my industry. But I don't know if I missed it. What's going on with the company object? It still seems like it's an orphan. It doesn't. It's unless you don't even see a contact's company they work for unless you put it into the business name in the contact record. So what's
Yep.
happening with the company object?
Sure, Glenn. That's actually the last slide in my presentation, and we have Ansh with us. Ansh, would it be
Okay.
possible to maybe do a quick demo on our staging for companies towards the end of the call? If it's possible.
Yeah, I don't want to take you off your presentation. This is just a big
it's a
thing
part
for
of the
me, and I wanted to
presentation.
make sure okay.
Yep. Just checking
Yeah.
in with Ansh. If it's possible.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Yeah,
give
we
you a
can do
quick
that.
100. Awesome. Glenn, so just stay tuned towards the end. We will do a quick demo of what we have upcoming for companies.
I'm staying right here, no problem. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah,
Lior.
you have a question, I guess.
So I saw that the automations will come in a week or two, and I'm trying to understand exactly what's the extent of the automations. I understand like updating fields and things like that, but would it make sense for the automations to be triggered by a custom object? For example, I have a custom object that is an event, and I have associations with whoever ordered the event production, the vendors I have for the event, and the performers I'm hiring for the event. And these are different associations. So if I trigger an automation for this event custom object with an if-else of if the association is performer, send this contract. If it's a vendor, send a different contract. Is that will that be possible?
Yep. So jumping into what we have coming for workflows, these are the different triggers and actions that will be up in the first version. We do have a bunch of other triggers and actions up already in the works for the second version of workflows, but we'll be starting out with a completely new kind of workflows, which will be custom object based workflows, where you will have triggers like a custom object record getting created, updated, or you will have inbound webhooks as well to trigger off a workflow. The kind of actions that you would be that would be available would include creating and updating or clearing fields of associated records, and that will be all the associated records with a certain label or all the associated records regardless of the label for that particular object record
So-
that you just came in the workflow. And then
Awesome.
outbound webhooks, custom webhooks, we will have the if else wait, all of those conditional steps as well.
So instead of the trigger being per contact, it could be per object.
Yep. We'll be, in
Oh.
fact, starting out with the object record triggers. Contact
Mhm.
record triggers will not be there in the first version that rolls out. The second version will have the contact record triggers and then updating custom objects from contact records also.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Cool. Guessing no further questions, so we'll move on to the other stuff that we released. Cool. Next up was associated contacts. So similar to the associations that we were able to just show you, you can actually associate contacts to one another. This was another major use case specifically from real estate. I think we had a bunch of requests where people wanted to tag the husband and the wife together. There were requests from service industry. There were requests from a bunch of industries about how they wanted to tag at least the different family members together, or maybe people on the same company together through labels. So now you can do that. How it works is you basically, again, start by going to settings, objects, and you will be seeing contacts as one of the objects available. When you click on this, you have an option to create an association. When you do that, you have an option to associate these contacts to other contacts. And you can select the labels that you want to associate these two contacts with. Let me call this particular pair of labels as manager and employee. And once I do that, I can start associating my contacts to one another by using this new label that I just created. So I can associate a new contact with this particular contact here. It's like, and I can use whatever labels. I have these set of labels. I have manager, employee, husband, wife. There are some labels that I created in the past. And the one that I just created, I can, let's say I call this particular contact as the manager. And every time now I am in this particular record, I will see that this other contact is the manager of this contact. And when I go to the contact for J, say son, I can also see the associations here for Richard Mower and shows that this person is an employee under this particular person. So all of that association becomes possible with this new flow. Cool.
Awesome.
That's about contact to contact associations. Give me a sec. I really want to log into a test account to be able to show you all this information better. But yeah, cool. Proceeding to opportunities. Customizations of opportunities was another big item that we released. And we have already received a lot of love for this option to customize opportunity card. And thank you so much for that. So what does that mean? Basically in opportunities, now you have not just one, but two different views. List view was something that was out in labs for quite some time now, and you can now use it directly. It's available for everyone basically right now. So I'm sure you guys have already explored the list view, so I'll talk a little more about the board view, but feel free to ask any questions on list view if you have any. Cool. And what does the board view get as an enhancement? Basically, you have this option called manage fields, where you can add any standard or custom field for this particular opportunity and put that directly on the opportunity card. Currently, we have a limit of 7 different fields that you can put on the opportunity card. And I can literally select even the created dates, the state change date. You can put any of these fields directly on the opportunity card. In fact, the changes that you just make, you can apply to either all the different pipelines that you have or just to the one that you made the change to. This is a completely optional step. And the opportunity card gets updated with all of this information. There's another view called the compact view. If you want to not waste a lot of real estate with all of these labels that are visible on the screen, you can actually put the compact view and you see the same amount of information in a smaller section. You can just hover on the card to see all the details and etc. Another enhancement was putting all the different additional info options in the quick action section here. So you can continue to toggle them on and off. One feedback that we were receiving very consistently was the list of available features in the additional info were very inconsistent. There were some for hide, there were some for show. It was very confusing what to toggle on and off. So we wanted to cut through all of that and put it all in one place in a very consistent fashion. So you can decide what are different icons that you show. Plus, you can also even order these in any order of your choice and see it in that way. So all of the card is now 100% customizable in a way that you want it to be. Cool. Pausing for questions. Andrew.
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, so question, when will this be available to be transferred via snapshots? So kind of like sticks from a snapshot, especially the custom, like we use job address to go on the card for our business. So instead of having to go into every sub account we load and add that.
Got it. So that's great feedback. It's not currently honestly in the immediate plan, but I made a note of it and we'll see if we can squeeze it in as soon as possible.
Okay, thanks.
Cool, Ikshan, please.
Hi, can we have those managed fields? And I have raised it, as a Facebook post, but can we have those managed fields be sticky? So in other words, once the customers or the clients or our clients have actually chosen what fields they want to show on those cards, that it doesn't default back to the original settings, but that it actually stays like that it remains sticky. Because at the moment, once they log out or change menu item, the cards, all those filters disappear.
Got it. So currently we're saving all of these settings in the local storage for that particular user. So what that means is as long as they are logged into the account and they are using it, they will keep seeing whatever they had set up. And this is on a user level. But basically when they log out or if they try to log in via a different browser or something like that, they might lose the settings that they have added in the first place. But feedback noted, that is something that we have in the plan, in the future plan, where you can allow all of your users, in fact, not just this, but also you can create lists, you can create views, you can share that with all of your users. Those are other features that we do have in the pipeline coming very soon. For now, it's in the local stage. But
I think
feedback.
I understand that those are features that's coming down the line, but I think our clients, for example, the sales manager want to set the views on those cards, and he doesn't want anyone else to change it necessarily. So I think when you look at the matriculated steps to new features, I think the first thing would be, probably just to set, the additional fields and have that be the default for the sub account. And then you can later on look at, making individual user defaults as such, because it's incredibly frustrating for them, and it impacts their user experience at the moment. And then they don't end up using, the features that we are building out,
Yeah,
for.
it makes sense. Definitely see where you're coming from there.
Yep. Feedback noted, and that's why it's in the plan already, because we do want to make that change and we understand where you're coming from. But yeah, we'll do it as soon as we can, for sure.
Perfect. Daya?
Yes, so just same with earlier, Ikshan. Like on our department, the technical department, the ones that are showing on the data on the card, it doesn't relate to us. So I know that there are icons already in there, but is there a way that we can have a field that is relevant to us showing on the card? That, let's say that currency doesn't matter to us. Those dates, I'm not sure what those dates are, but it doesn't matter to us. So there are specific fields that matter to my department that we would like to be shown on the card when we open the opportunities.
Sure, but you can, so basically this is a user level setting, and they can always go and remove whatever dates do not matter to them and add the ones that actually do on their cards, or in fact remove all of them if that's their choice. But yeah, this is something that they can do and literally change
Yes,
whatever.
but I mean like that, the currency. We don't want it showing on the card in itself, but another type of line of
Here?
information. No, on the card itself.
Yeah, you can remove opportunity value from the card.
Yes, but we would like another information, like a sticky information that will be showing here.
You can add that.
Like, are you
Okay.
talking about like a different field? Like you can add that.
I think she means a user defined, like they can, their own custom field that they can, is that what you're asking, Dia?
Yeah, any
That you can
custom
define
field.
yourself?
You
Right.
can
Yeah.
add.
You can
So these
already
are
do
some
that.
custom fields.
We do that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but it needs to be like a line, like written here, not an icon though.
Yeah. I mean, so you can add any custom field that you want on the card as per your choice. I don't have values in
Okay,
those custom
but-
fields, which is why it's not appearing right now. Let me add something here.
Okay.
A, B, C, D, E. I'll just update this opportunity. And this is a custom field that I've created called Tada, and I can add that to my card. And we'll start showing the value that you
Okay,
added.
gotcha. Thank you.
Sure.
You're gonna be adding Tada as one of my custom fields as well.
Default,
one.
that's the default field, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Brad.
Brad.
Hey guys, question about the opportunity IDs. I know that's in like cooperation with the automations team too, but want to make sure that for us specifically, we're moving opportunities from pipeline to pipeline, you know, from a leads to a closed pipeline, for example. Is that still in the works, having opportunities that have specific IDs attached to them? Do you know anything
So
about that?
opportunities already come with IDs. You can see this ID is basically the opportunity ID, the number that you see on the bottom. If you're talking about moving opportunities from one pipeline to another without having to delete them and create a new one, that's something
Correct.
that we do have in the pipeline from a workflows point of view. However, there is an option to now do it without going through workflows. I'll talk a little more about how we can do it via workflows in a while. But if you were to do it right now, there is an option to edit multiple opportunities and change the pipeline here. So you can select which pipeline do you want to move these particular opportunities to. Let's say I pick this particular opportunity and I pick a stage in which I want to move these opportunities and click on save. What it'll do is it'll create a bulk action and move all of these 4 opportunities to the pipeline that I just selected. And this will be moving with all the details that were there, not deleting and creating ones where you sort of lose the information on some custom fields.
Great. Okay, that's great. And then eventually automations and workflows would have.
Yep. I will be touching upon that in just a while.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Perfect.
What about sorry, jump. What about having other other object fields on the opportunity modal that pops up? For example, I have a customer who ships truck parts all over the country, and so we have if we need a shipping address, for example, right? There's no validation if you create an opportunity field with an address field in it. Doesn't do anything. It's just a memo field. It just sits there. There's no validation. We want to be able to pull in the contact address field, which has validation, which is part of the contact record, so that in the opportunity, he can update that information from the single modal that pops up. But we can't do that now. The only workaround is building workflows and having it transfer from this set of object attributes to this set of object attributes. It's a
Right.
nightmare.
We understand, and we have received that feedback in the past, but it's a very heavy technical challenge that we are also trying to work around. Yogesh, if you want to talk a little about how we are challenging it, I'm happy to let you. But just touching about what we are doing, we are working on a more combined data platform, sort of a space where we can not just pick up any field from the other. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, where we can not just pick up any field from the other object, but also see time-based data and be able to, create automations or create bulk actions on time-based data series sort of information. That's one priority that we already have started working on. It's a long-term roadmap item. It's not something that we can fix in a short amount of time. So you might have to wait a little until we roll that out. For now, the only workaround that we suggest to all of our users is creating an automation and creating a duplicate custom field in the other in the other object as well, and having an automation to share data on both. That's the workaround that we suggest for now. But yeah, that's one of the priority items that we have in the upcoming quarters that we have already started building a team around, started working on, and you'll be seeing a lot of new updates coming in from a data point.
If you're building a new UI, right, which seems to be also, something that's going on with HighLevel, and my guess is, I don't know how your database is structured, but it's probably not object oriented. It seemed to be more flat files, table structure. But it seems like if you're doing a new UI, just allow, if you could have an interface whereby we pop up a modal and we can just drag and drop the fields that we want on that particular modal. At that point, customer pops it up, and whatever the fields that they've created are there. Instead of having to do all these workarounds, they have the workflows. I'm using the toolkit to build links into forms to update fields. It's super cumbersome, and it's just not intuitive that way at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Glenn, that's another thing that we do want to work on, where you have completely customizable cards and completely customizable ad views. Those are stuff that we do have in the pipeline. You would be seeing a lot of major upgrades on the UX already. We do have a lot more planned in the upcoming quarter, in the current quarter as well. And yeah, we will keep on improving and making it more and more customizable for you, for sure.
Cool.
But yeah, that's in the plan.
Sam, what do you got?
Hey, so is this available now or is it in the pipeline? Most of our opportunities are created on forums on websites, landing pages, and
Mhm.
right now you have to go to the actual contact record to actually see a copy of the form. Is it possible that if a customer fills something out and it creates that opportunity, whatever form created that is on the opportunity card as well?
So you want to be able to open the opportunity and look at the form somehow?
Yeah, so right there on the left-hand panel there, you see all those fields that you have. If you open that back up, the opportunity card,
So you'd,
and
I
yeah, right
understood that.
there. Yeah, right there it
Similar
should
to how you
say,
are able to look at the form on the right panel directly or the form response, you would want the same experience on the opportunity side, right?
yes, because right now you have to actually, what you're doing right now, that's what we have to do is go to every contact record to see the form that created that opportunity. So it would be nice to just in the opportunity card for the sales guys to be able just to see what they submitted in there.
Got it, got it. Yep, noted. It's not there in the roadmap as of today, but feedback noted, and makes complete sense for it to be a complete loop. Like once you create a form, why not be able to see the form details directly on the opportunity itself? Let's go back to the drawing board and see.
You can create a workflow where you take the contact information from the form and update the opportunity fields.
Yeah, again, but that's
well,
a
it's a temporary
right?
solution.
Yeah,
it works.
But what were you saying about that? Create the workflow to do what now? One more time.
Well, you take all those or actually create the form with opportunity fields. You can do that.
Yeah, so I've done something.
Yeah, we do that all
similar.
the time.
I think I've done something similar. So in my workflow, it automates and creates a unique tag in each record. The tag then pulls through to the opportunity, and by clicking in that left hand on the tag, it would then direct me back to the form.
Cool.
I don't know if that makes sense.
We can jump. We could probably jump on a call too to work that out for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but it would be nice to have it on the opportunity card.
Got it. So there are workarounds basically that exist, but yeah, we'll see if we can squeeze that in the roadmap sooner or later.
Charles.
Cool. Charles. Yeah.
Hey, just because the conversation came up for data validation, is there a plan to incorporate data validation or common syntaxes for custom objects? So if I'm creating a number field, I can pick a syntax of phone number, and the most common, from an end user experience, obviously they're probably not going to know what the heck a syntax is, but if I can say, this is a number field, but I want to check it against standard number for phone number formats, or common syntaxes. If there's a way to, because that's the big problem that I see with custom objects, is that they are truly custom. You can say what you want it to be, but there's no way of making sure that actually gets put in there in any standardized way. Like if it's a vehicle and the field is VIN number, there's no way to apply a syntax saying that it can't be less than this amount of numerical characters or greater than this. Like it has to be a certain number to be valid.
Noted,
so
Charles.
this-
I think it's not there in the roadmap as of today, but feedback noted, and we'll see how we can squeeze that in. But yeah, do keep upvoting this on the ideas board. That surely will help us prioritize this faster.
That
But
that needs to be in every. That needs to be really in every
yeah, it'll be
field.
across all objects, all fields.
Oh, yeah.
Like whenever we add
Yeah.
validation. Makes sense. Yep.
Cool.
Cool. Feedback noted. Thanks, guys. Moving on. This was another major release that we did, where you can now decide what are the different fields that you can search upon for any object. So earlier we had received this complaint quite a lot of times for different fields where you wanted to maybe search for opportunity source in the opportunities tab, or you wanted to search on contact address on the contact tab. And to solve for all of that, we introduced this new feature where you can customize what are different fields that you are searching on for any object. You can select whatever object you want, contact opportunity. And this particular feature is available only to admins, not to users. And this change applies to all users and applies globally. So do ensure that you are checking all of these details whenever you are making a change to any of these object searchable fields. But yeah, how it works is you select which object you want to, and then you just select whatever fields that you want to search on for that particular object. And that includes almost all of the different custom fields, specifically name fields, number fields, etc. And also all of the different standard fields that were available and would still continue to be available even now. So you can literally select, let's say, Tada here, and update the searchable fields for opportunity. Save these changes. These applies to everyone. Confirm that you want to do this, and now you can start searching on this new field. There's one more hidden enhancement that we released along with this. It's not something that maybe everyone would have a use case for, but now with this change, you can actually even search for substrings in any of these text fields. So for example, let's say I want to search for Fonduten, and I only know that the name starts with something, and then there is something called NRUED in the center. I can actually do a regex search as well. I'm not sure if I
Ooh.
got the spelling correct.
That's a nice Easter egg.
Yep. And now
Hot
you can
tip.
search for substrings also, and all the searchable fields that you had set up in the first place. And this behaves properly like a regex search, or you can check for any fields that end with this particular set of characters, or you can search for a field that starts with these set of characters, and possibilities are now endless. Just note that the change that you make on the searchable fields applies to all the different areas. So for contacts, for example, on the global search, on conversation search bar, on the calendar search bar, wherever there was a place where you were searching for a contact, now you can search in all of those places with all the different fields that you just set up. So this
Beautiful.
was major change. Cool.
I think Charles was asking about that several weeks ago. So
Well,
speaking of which, Charles.
Yeah, so it seems, while I appreciate the effort, it seems like a hard pass on truly global search. So every CRM that I've ever used, you would never have to go through this, jump through the hoops of actually saying, I want to search these certain fields. If you're looking under the location switcher, like that global search, I should be able to search for anything from that name, phone number, email, opportunity name, you know, whatever. That should be a true global search. Same thing on the contacts page. That search should be global out of the box. I shouldn't have to tell it what fields, and limiting it to the number that you have. It just seems like a half solution.
I understand, Charles. Honestly, all of our competitor analysis that we did tell us almost the same thing, that there are limits to the number of fields that you can search upon. It is basically how heavy the database becomes, the number of contacts, and then allowing people to search. And there are literally locations which have like hundreds or thousands of custom fields. Allowing search on all of them becomes a very expensive query and makes the search super, super slow for us. That was not the experience we wanted to give. We do plan to keep optimizing our search experience. We are working on making it better, making it more efficient, making it faster, all of that. In fact, the regex search also is a temporary solution that we had a quick fix for and we wanted to roll out. But we do plan to enhance this much better and much faster. But for now, at least you can start searching on the fields that you want to search on. It's just one-time setup, and most likely people do not have a search requirement for, hundreds or tens of fields, is what our user research initially told us. But yeah, we are open to all the feedback, and thanks for that feedback, Charles. We will continue to optimize the experience and make it better and add more fields to it.
Yeah.
So this is one thing I talked about at Level Up with some of the PMs, is that I get that there are a lot of accounts out there that have hundreds of custom contact fields. However, I think a better solution than stunting the development because of that database lookup would be so significant because of all those custom contact fields. Looking at the fact that that was the only way to do custom data before custom opportunity fields, custom objects. And so I just throwing it out there, wouldn't it be more effective to focus on those accounts that have those astronomical numbers and say, hey, how can we transition you into custom objects and custom opportunity fields and get you out of these thousands of custom contact fields that we forced you to use because we didn't have another solution? So how can we fix this so we can provide a better development solution?
Yep. And we are on the journey to that. We are trying to bring in prompts wherever possible to enable users to start using custom objects or start using the opportunity custom fields, or at least enabling them to use the CRM in a more efficient manner so that they don't have to do as many workarounds as they might be doing right now. And that's all in the plan. Just one step in the right direction for now.
Why not do a string search within the specific object? I mean, right now, when you're in contacts, if you search the contact screen, anything that's part of the contact object is searchable. You can search by company name, you can search by first name, last name. So just do it by object. And then in the drop down, just select if it's the vehicle object, the home object for a realtor, whatever, and then do a string search within that object. So you're still limiting the amount of attributes that your database has to scan across.
I mean, the object itself has multiple fields, Glenn. So we just want to know which that you want to search upon. I mean, we are searching inside an object only, but it's just
right. So pick the object, and then search everything in that object, as opposed to searching the entire database.
No, this search bar exactly does the same thing. Honestly, the optimization is on the number of fields and not on the number of objects that you're searching. This is exactly the same search, right? I mean, you go inside an object and search for all the fields inside that object, or search for all the.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, then I'm not understanding that. Okay,
Brian.
Yeah, I was just gonna mostly say what Charles said, but I think my question now would be, when we heard the custom search was coming out, I was pretty excited, even though I saw a limitation of 6. I didn't realize like the big 3 or 4 was going to be limited. What would it take to just automatically include like first name, email, phone number, and then give us 6 additional fields, like custom fields? Because like we put address, we have a custom account number, and then we have like one more field. But since we have to tie up the more common fields with common information. It was great, but it's not even 6 because of that.
Got it. Brian, I think we are open to rediscussing the number that we have right now. We started with 6. We were open to feedback all this while. Feedback noted. Can you drop us an email? Maybe I'll just put my email address on the chat here, and would love to understand what are the use cases, what are the different fields that you want to search on, and we will go back and see if we can increase the limit for everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
Amazing. Solving problems.
Cool. Moving on. Importing contacts and opportunities together. This is another big one. This is something that we're bringing out. This is currently over here under opportunities menu, import. With this, what you can do, and this is a major change, what you can do is you can import contacts and opportunities together using the same file. And all this while, if you were transitioning from one CRM to another, you would have to put in all the contacts, and then you were importing opportunities. You would have to put the contact IDs in the opportunities, which was a cumbersome task. But now you don't need to do any more of that. You can just combine all of them in the same file. Next, you can upload a file that you might have. Let's say I have a random sample file that I tried uploading. You can decide whether you want to create or update opportunities, and same thing for contacts. And moving on, you can start mapping both the different object fields. So you can map fields for contact, you can map fields for opportunity. And that's it. When you click on next, you have all the different options that were available for the previous contact import as well. And you can start the bulk import. One major important thing that I want to share here is this is the same journey that we want to transition our current import contacts flow to. So currently import contacts flow, we receive a bunch of feedback about how things do not work exactly how you want it to. There are constraints on the date formats. There are constraints on the phone number formats. We have addressed a lot of those changes over here in the new import flow that I was just showing you. In fact, with this new import flow, you can even start importing additional emails and additional phones, something that was not possible earlier. And yeah, there are literally, I think, hundreds of enhancements that we have added. They're really small enhancements, but we do understand how solving even one can make 10 more contact imports faster for you. And we put as much as possible inside this particular change. What we want you guys to do is try your hands on this new contact and opportunity import. Try out the contact import, maybe just update opportunities, try out multiple permutations, combinations of this import, and do share any feedback that you have with us. Most likely within a month's time, we'll be transitioning the old contacts import also to this new flow. And any feedback that we get ahead in time would be super helpful. So do give it a try. Yep. Open to questions. Yes, please.
Steve?
Cool, thanks. On this, when you import a list, let's say you have a list of contacts that are being imported with company names and company information.
Yep.
Will that separate into different objects?
So company as an object is something that we are enhancing as we speak. We will be talking a little about how we are enhancing it towards the end of this call. But for now, what you can do is you can start to import the business name as the company name. And there is this particular setting that we have inside settings companies called create and associate companies with contacts based on the contact's business name field value. What this does is when you enable it for your sub account, every time a new business name is added to a particular contact, it automatically creates a company based on that business name. But with this particular release that we just made, this is basically a step into starting to import multiple objects together. So this is the first combination of objects that we have brought in, which is contacts and opportunities. We do want to see how people use it. We do want to hear all the feedback that we can get, and then start allowing other combinations like contacts and custom objects, contacts and companies, companies and custom objects, etc. Basically, the potential is endless. 2-3 different opportunities combined together into the same file and then importing them all at once. That's something that's there in the plan. This is just the first step towards it.
So your answer is yes.
So right now, via the business
No.
name field, yes, via the business name field, an automatic company will get created, but you can't import contacts and companies together if you were to import that particular object with all of its fields. So, or maybe let's jump on a call. Maybe I can give
The
you a
answer is
quick.
no,
All right.
Steve.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Glenn.
The answer is no.
I just, yeah.
Yes, with a
The pro-
workaround, I'd say.
the problem, I think Steve has the same problem. So I'm in an industry that's driven by companies. Contacts really are second. They're almost irrelevant. Okay.
Yep.
And that they're irrelevant, but they don't really matter that much. So, and this gets back to my question about the company object. First of all, in the way you have it structured now, if I'm a user and I type in business name as, Wasserman Trucking versus Wasserman Service, you create two companies. Okay, so you've got it's a mess. The structure is a mess. And if I've got 20 users at a location, that guy has 5 locations. I've got 100 users on the system. The data is horrible. It's just not, and we don't have the validations like Charles brought up going on. So anybody can enter anything they want. It's just not designed, in that for that environment, like a company
And
focused
feedback
environment.
noted, Glenn. I mean, we are working on making companies, moving it to the custom object framework. We are doing a feature to import custom objects, and with that, import companies also comes in. And then also we will be doing combination of different objects coming in together. That will be contacts companies, contacts custom objects companies. All of those possibilities are going to come in, and that's all planned most likely by the end of this quarter, and if not, most likely in the start of the next one. Everything is underway, and we will be doing a quick demo of companies also towards the end of the call. But yeah, it's in the plan, and we promise we have a bunch of exciting enhancements for companies coming up very, very soon.
And the good
I
news.
appreciate you, but it's 4 years. I'm going crazy pulling my hair
Would
out
you
of
do
my
me a
head.
favor? Would you do me a favor and drop your meeting link in
I'll
the
do that.
chat?
Yeah, they will.
Glenn, the
Charles,
good news for you is basically that any feature that we going forward release for custom objects, you'll by default have that for companies as well. So if we do bulk edit for custom objects, you'll get it for companies. If we do import for objects, you'll get it for companies. If we do export for objects, you'll get it for companies. So going forward, companies will be up to date with custom objects, so you won't have to worry
But
about.
the data entry side has to get cleaned. Like if I'm entering 5 contacts for the same company, I don't want to type the company 5 times. Like I should just hit a button, and it, the whole thing has to be streamlined and how you're adding data.
Yep. I'm putting
Go
in
ahead,
the
guys. Go ahead. I don't want to keep you on this, but you know how I am with this whole stuff.
oh yeah,
My meeting link
good.
and my email address both. Feel free to drop in an email or book a meeting directly, whatever works for you. And we'd be happy to chat about our enhancements in more details. But I think we are already out of time, and we have not even
Go
covered
ahead.
the So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Charles, I think you have a question.
3 quick things. It seems kind of silly since in the contact object, if you look at the contact object and the company object, in contact it's called business name, in company it's called company name. Can we not name them the same thing? Both company?
Yeah.
So there's no confusion since it's automatically creating,
Yes.
like that just
So-
seems kind of silly that they're named 2 different things.
Noted,
So
Charles.
that's
Any
one.
companies, I just keep on answering. Otherwise, I'll forget your questions, I guess. Or if these are
Go ahead.
connected.
I mean, it just seems to me like the logical thing to do would just change business name to company name in the
Yeah, what you are saying might
contact
have made sense. The only thing
database.
is not everyone has that setting turned on, and we don't want to start creating companies and then cause all of that confusion. What if they don't have that setting turned on and they are putting in different fields for companies? But
I think
companies is
if you did a
currently
poll, yeah,
yeah.
I think if you did a poll, you would find that more people are confused by the fact that they're different names than
100%
if
agree.
they were the same.
We do want to address that. We are transitioning to make companies itself very strong and use it in all the different places where business name is being used, and eventually transition business name to company name itself. That's the plan that we are on. And we will
Okay.
basically eventually stop creating a use case only for the business name field to exist and give all of those different functionalities to company name directly. So you don't really need a business name. And
I mean, this, I hear you, but I mean, in reality, how long would it take for someone to go in and just change that from business to company in the contact and just
yeah, I
call
mean,
it done?
even
I
if
mean, 10 minutes? I mean,
I mean, but
to change what,
it might
you know,
cause more confusion than solution.
I doubt it.
It's only doubt.
I don't think so.
I highly
I
doubt
think
it.
This is more-
Highly doubt
Well,
it.
Charles,
it's just
the problem is there's
it's
a
just a
lot of moving parts, and if that small change touches 1,000 different areas in the app, then it turns from a 10-minute thing to a month-long thing, right?
I get it, but
we
that's
totally
just,
hear you. We will.
yeah,
We're on
it's
it. But
yeah. So
give us a
the
little bit of
other,
time because
well,
we
what
gotta
I
move.
mean, it
We gotta
sounds
move
like
slow
it
and
would just be
methodical at this
a.
point.
I
But
just
we
with the
told you,
just
Charles,
company,
put the
just
same
one
name in both
enhancement that's
boxes.
coming
That's
up
all.
soon.
Just put company
Yeah,
/ business
we
in
hear
both
you, Charles.
boxes, and people will figure
We
that
do
out.
want to make that change. We just want to make it in a sustainable way so that it doesn't break anything for anyone. That's the
Yeah.
only thing.
gotcha, understood.
Joel,
The other thing with the with the company name ending up with multiple company names, and this goes to the contact screen. Two things we need in contacts and any name field, especially, is we need a fuzzy match. So if Glenn
Yes.
starts typing the beginning of the company name, it auto suggests an existing company name. Like there needs to be a fuzzy match syntax in there. Like that is a no-brainer. There needs to be a fuzzy match. The other thing that drastically needs to be done that goes along with fuzzy match is there needs to be a duplicate finder. As we get into
Yep.
custom objects and like how in the world, I've never in my life seen a CRM that can match up to 10 duplicates at once that does
What
not have a duplicate finder. What's the point of being able to merge
That's one
10
of the slides
contacts if
in
you
the
can't find your
presentation. Coming
duplicates?
very soon. Charles, noted. One of the slides in the presentation. Coming very, very soon.
I mean, it's just,
this
it's
is what happens when
crazy.
you listen. You get to see the rest of the presentation. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Cool. And after Joel's question, I guess that's what we would need to do. We might want to push through, at least ensure that we are covering everything, and then we'll start taking questions again for people who have questions.
Perfect.
Yep, Joel.
Okay, I'm going to echo on to a few other people's here, and Charles's and whoever else was chiming in on this. The company thing. Number one, all of your customers deal with companies. Okay, so this is like helping your agencies, number one, as your number one customer base here, to target their companies they're going after. Yes, they're going after consumers too, but they're all selling companies. This company thing has got to get straightened out. It frankly should be a custom object on the left. It should go calendars, companies, contacts. And if I click into companies and I click on a given company, in there should be a section. Okay, it doesn't need to have the conversation in the center, the conversation thing in the center. It needs to be a section of all the associated contacts. Now I can see on a flat view, for example, associated information, general information associated with the contact. You could have a company that has, right, like right now you're populating all the company information with general information. That general information could be specifically to that contact, not the company. In other words, I got a customer, we still use lightly Zoho CRM in the background. My intention is to completely get rid of Zoho for our own agency as a whole and just use the product we're selling our clients. However, these critical things, you're making the statement here, and I really strongly agree to challenge it, is that you're saying of how many people are using company or whatever. It's like, I would say if you put a poll right now on the Facebook forum, on the Facebook group, you're going to see an overwhelming percentage that use companies like crazy, and this is a dire need right here. If you just, these other object things are really nice, but this company object is so critical because we need to be able to bring in like company fields into documents and agreements, right? And then identify, hey, among the contacts associated with this company, who's the primary, who's a secondary, for example, right? Have that option. Now, when they set up the sub account, right, give them the option. Are you going to be using companies? No. All right, then just have contacts. That's fine.
Yep. And
But-
noted. I mean, that's what we want to transition to. We want to make companies as strong as possible. We want to give it all the functionalities that we are talking about. We want to give it import. We want to give it custom fields. We want to give it
Great.
another bunch
Let's
of.
make that priority one, because that's going to help
And
us.
that
That's
is
going to help us close more deals, get more business, and help our companies.
100%.
You know, I
I
love
did
Hey guys,
try.
I
That's
they get
easy
it.
to
They
figure
get
out.
it. They get it. They get it.
Yeah, I mean,
I wish
that's
if Sean was on the
fantastic
call,
feedback, Joel.
if Sean was on the call, he would have been shutting you guys down already. Come on. They get
Yeah,
it.
that is really good feedback, Joel. I think what we'll do is we're gonna take it internal, and you know everything you said, it's gonna make you, you know, get more business, sell more deals, all that stuff. Let's get that in concrete data, and we'll push up to the top. But you know, it is a priority regardless, right?
It is a
we are
priority, and you
focusing
will
on
be
that.
seeing a lot of enhancements in this quarter, starting this quarter itself. And
I
then
look
the
forward to
enhancements.
these updates next week. I mean, this is going to be awesome when it rolls out next week.
Done.
Cool. Next one.
All right.
Was you now have an option to select which phone number do you want to send a bulk SMS from directly in the send SMS modal, the bulk SMS modal. Next big enhancement was an option to start creating recurring tasks. So basically wherever you are trying to create tasks from, now you will also see a subsetting called recurring tasks, and you can create a recurring task which will repeat every X number of days, hours, months. You can make it end never, make it end on a particular day, make it end after 15 occurrences if you want to. You have a bunch of subsettings under recurring tasks, and you can do all of that. So recurring tasks is another big major enhancement that we made under tasks. And moving to some upcoming releases for Q4. First one, custom object workflows. We touched upon it a while back, so I won't spend a lot of time over here. But yeah, you will have custom object record creation, custom object record updation based workflows, and also workflows for and also actions for creating, updating, or clearing fields in that object or any associated record for that object. Plus, we will support inbound webhooks, outbound webhooks, custom webhooks, and a bunch of these conditional steps like if else, wait, go to, etc. This is most likely going to come out within a couple of weeks. And so stay tuned for this major enhancement. Next is smart lists and edit in cell. Now, this major change is also going to enhance the way you see smart lists right now. We have heard several feedbacks on how smart lists works today, and we have addressed all of those in the new smart list flow that we are building. We will start with rolling this out for custom objects first. We will then bring the same thing in opportunities and contacts soon after. So do try and test it out and keep giving us feedback, because we want to do a slow rollout for this feature to all the different objects eventually. And of course to companies also. The next one, edit and sell. Right now with the new list view, one major update or one major feedback that we have been receiving all this while was the lack of ability to edit something right here. And we want to give you an option to be able to edit fields directly on the page without having to go inside the opportunity and come back. And same thing for custom objects, same thing for contacts also. Next is the contacts updated list view. I saw this on the chat somewhere. Someone was asking about how we are upgrading the contacts list view. What are the major changes? So you already have had a taste of it with the opportunity and the custom object list view. We are putting the same thing inside contacts. So every enhancement that you see here will also be available for you in contacts. You will be able to change the fields that are coming on the screen. You'll be able to sort with a bunch of things that are already there plus more. You will have advanced filters, upgrades as well. And apart from that, we are also revamping how smart lists work. We'll be bringing edit and cell. All of these major enhancements coming in for contacts list view. Plus the bulk actions stay, and we make it a little more easier. We are bringing in quick filters. We are making the bulk actions easier to use, faster to use. All of those enhancements, UX based enhancement for contact list view coming in super soon. One major enhancement that you will see with this change is we receive a lot of feedback about not being able to rearrange columns or add more columns on the list view and then save it in some way. That will be another major enhancement that comes in. So basically, once you click on manage fields and add a bunch of fields to the list view, you can actually save that entire thing along with the sort that you had added as a smart list. The smart list will be a combination of the filters that you've added, the fields that you have added, and the sort that you have added in one single smart list. And you'll be able to use all of that across your different lists. That will be one major enhancement and one major request that we have been getting from all of you guys. Next up, opportunity smart list. I already touched upon this. This is another big one. Find opportunity has been one big use case. And we were just talking about move opportunity a while back. All of those things get unlocked with this new set of actions that we'll be rolling out. What this slide basically means is we'll be rolling out 7 different opportunity workflow actions. And this is most likely planned for the start of December, where you will have not just find opportunity. And what find opportunity means is you'll be able to find which opportunity is it that you want to take an action on in your workflow. So you'll be able to find that opportunity. You can choose to create or update. You don't have one single action, which is create/update. We actually split it into 2 different actions. So you decide if you want to create or you want to update, depending on whatever your workflow is aimed to do. Plus, we have 4 other actions for adding and removing owners and adding and removing followers from the opportunity. And all of these will start working on the opportunity, which is actually triggering the workflow. Or if you want to pick up a particular opportunity based on certain custom fields, standard fields, filter it out, pick up the latest opportunity, pick up the earliest opportunity, all of those possibilities will be basically available for your workflow actions. Next up, sorry, Sam will be taking all the questions towards the end so that we can cover up the entire PPT. Cool. Next up, task list view upgrade. So similar to how we are upgrading companies, and we are also upgrading our tasks page to start using the new list view that we were just talking about. There will be a lot of UX upgrades. So the list view looks better. You can see the contacts, you can see the assignee. You can also create a new task in a side panel, which will be a much more efficient and quick action. So these are some other enhancements that will be coming in from task list view or a UX upgrade for task. The other big thing is task and notes association. So currently the tasks or the notes that we create are only contact tasks or contact notes, or otherwise there are tasks which have no contacts associated at all. We want to expand that scope to start allowing associating a task to any contact, any opportunity, any company, or any custom object. What that means basically is there can be tasks for a particular opportunity which is not linked to any contact at all, or which is linked to both a contact and a particular opportunity. And basically the possibilities are endless. So what that will unlock is you can actually have separate tasks for separate opportunities and maintain it that way. Similarly, you can have separate tasks for separate companies and maintain it that way. You can have a common task for multiple contacts and for one company instead of having to create 5 different tasks for 5 different contacts. Basically unlocking a bunch of potential from a tasks point of view. So you can have individual or combined tasks for any of your objects. And the same thing goes for notes also. For notes, it will be a little different because you will have a limit of 1 contact or a 1 opportunity, sort of a limit on notes associations, but still you will be able to associate a particular note to the opportunity, to the company, to the contact, or whatever object you want to, or any custom object as well. Cool. Moving on. Identify and merge duplicates. We were again touching upon this just a while back with Charles. And yeah, you will be able to basically find different duplicates on your location based on email, based on phone, based on name for starters, for contacts for now. But this is just the base work. This is a very scalable architecture that we are rolling out with, and basically we'll be able to expand it to companies. Basically, we'll be expanding it to any object in the future, and we'll be able to find duplicates based on multiple fields. That's the idea. And this will also allow you to quickly search for such duplicates, click on merge and do a one single click merge instead of having to go through that entire modal and finding duplicates on your own. And we are hoping this will make your CRM management much faster and efficient, more efficient for you. Next is company upgrades, and I will be stopping my share. And do we have Ansh with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome.
Sharing my screen.
Put them. Yep, please go ahead.
I think I'll start with the objects page. And I think, Pallavi, you have already explained what the objects are and what are associations. So I'll directly jump in. So this is how now you will have one more standard object called companies. And if you go inside it, you will have, sorry, this is running on my local, ignore that. So you'll have a standard association, which is built-in association between a company and a contact. And for now, there would be no more association allowed. I think we'll do that in the next phase. And if we go back from here is the company page. This is as per our new list view. I think you have already seen that with opportunities and custom objects. Yeah, and this is how the associations look like. Now, I think I missed talking about the custom fields here. So now you have the ability to add new custom fields to the company object. So now you can add new custom fields and folders to it. Pallavi, you can add if I missed anything.
Yeah, again, this is local that we are just developing, so ignore all
Yeah,
the random custom fields there.
random.
You'll have the
Yeah,
ability to add the custom fields, the folders, you'll have the sorting, you'll have the advanced filters as well, just like
yeah,
custom objects, you'll get filters on all the fields.
and
You'll also get smart lists, which are coming to custom objects as well. So all of that is included here.
yeah, and you will also get the searchable fields here, so you could configure the search here. So that is also included.
Yep, you can decide what fields you want. Basically, everything that you are seeing in custom objects today, and many more things that we are currently working on in custom objects like smart list, and all of those will be there on companies with this new update that will be launching very soon. And we do want to move out companies and tasks to a more parallel place with contacts and opportunities. We are also working with the design team, and Uday is here on the call with us, and he and his team are working on the information architecture, making it more efficient and faster for you to find all of these different objects. So that's also in the plan. Cool. I'm hoping this was needed enhancement, and I'm hoping that answers a few questions. We do have a bunch of other upgrades also. This is not the end of development for companies. We will keep on working on companies, adding more and more functionalities to it, and hope that helps. Yep. And Sam, we can take your question now.
Sure. Back on contacts real quick. I think you and I spoke on this in the recent past. Are we going to have the ability for not everything to be entered as a contact automatically, and or have the ability to state which smart list we want the default to be? Because right now, you and I talked about creating a smart list to filter out, junk leads versus real contacts, but still you don't have the ability to choose which smart list you want to be defaulted every time you click on the contact records.
Noted, Sam. And I've already put in that as one of the feedbacks that we want to address when we are updating smart lists. We are actually in the process of making smart lists better and faster. I think it'll be a small enhancement over whatever we are building to make a particular smart list as default for everyone. We'll take it up with you. We'll see how we can add that as an enhancement super soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, Cam.
Yeah, I just had a question about the custom objects. Is there a way to filter the associated contact? I couldn't figure out how to do that. It doesn't show up in the filter. Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
it will be one of the filters that will be adding super soon. But yeah, noted, Cam. It'll be coming in soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you. I'm hoping we have already answered most of the comments, and I will just post my email ID and meeting link once again in the chat in case you have any feedback. I just wanted to quickly talk about the top priorities for us. I know we are over time. Just quickly telling about the priorities that we have in the upcoming quarter. It's mostly around adding a bunch of UX fixes to make it easier for all of your locations to adopt our functionalities like contacts, opportunities, custom objects. We want to enable a better UX, a better experience for first-time users, and make it super easy for you to adopt all of our different features available. So we are open to any feedback that you might have, which you think are major constraints that happen when a new user or when a new location under you is starting to use our CRM. And any suggestion would be super welcome. I have dropped in my meeting link, I have dropped in my email ID, and thank you so much everyone for joining in and sharing your feedback. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
everyone.
it. Take care. Have a great day.
See you guys. Bye.
Thank you.